Live on Wednesday, September 23rd on the Wrestling Inc. podcast for Wednesday night, as we're going to break down AEW Dynamite and NXT, along with a few news items. I'm Justin LaBar, alongside the man who makes Wrestling Inc. possible, Mr. Raj Giri. Raj, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. And on the other side, he is the Blueprint, Matt Morgan. Matt, thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
Figured I needed to thank you on behalf of the entire Wrestling Inc. All right, guys. So I had both screens up tonight. There's a lot going on both shows, which we will get to. We also have a few other news items we'll get to as well. But wanted to start off the show on a somber but respectful note, as the wrestling world lost another one of the greats. Joe Laurinaitis, best known to wrestling fans, Road Warrior Animal, passed away at age 60. More details are on Wrestling Inc. But I mean, Raj, I think it was, they're saying natural causes, nothing, not a major incident, correct?
That's what TMZ is reporting. It's really sad. I mean, yesterday, Road Warrior Animal, Joe Laurinaitis, he had tweeted a picture of his wife, and he had said that it's their anniversary. So it happened that night. And yeah, apparently police got there. It was like 11:49 p.m., got to their home, and as soon as he was taken to the hospital, he was declared dead. So, man, I mean, you talk about the greatest tag teams of all time. I bet you more people would name the Road Warriors than any other team.
Yeah. I think I saw they were actually at a resort. They were at like at a resort celebrating their anniversary.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes. They were at a resort.
Damn.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys. I mean, we've all been fans our entire lives. I mean, Matt, do you have a memory as a kid seeing the Road Warriors, or a match or something, a promo?
Yeah, I lived in Connecticut, so we didn't get NWA. But for whatever rhyme or reason, there was an event at this huge baseball stadium where I'm from in Connecticut. And I seen Sergeant Slaughter, who knew my aunt, and I guess they met him at some radio contest or something like that. I don't know. But I was able to go backstage with my cousins. And they're my two female cousins that didn't watch wrestling, didn't care. And then the Road Warriors were on the show. And we got to meet them, and they weren't breaking kayfabe. They were like, "Get out of the way! What are these kids doing back here?" And my two cousins were taking up all the airtime, basically. And I got really pissed. I was like, "These two shouldn't even be back here. They don't even watch wrestling. Don't listen to them. They don't watch wrestling. I love you guys." And they're like, "Well, we don't love you." And I walked away. And I told Joe that many years ago on SmackDown, he'd come backstage wearing a suit and stuff. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, holy shit, that's freaking Road Warrior. And I was like, I'm not sure though. Like I thought he'd be much taller, because I was a little kid last time I saw him in person. I was like 7, 8 years old, or whatever I was. But just giving me pointers, advice, just not to be nervous. It was like my third time being up on the road, I think. Very, very nice guy. And I also found out that day that was a guy I hate, Johnny Ace's brother. I don't hate him, but back then I did.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which I thought was the weirdest thing. I'm like, they look nothing alike. How are these two brothers? But that's it.
I remember Johnny Ace as the dude with attitude when he'd come with the skateboard to the ring. And when I found out that was Road Warrior Animal's brother, because he was doing that gimmick then, I was like, that just makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
It's like when I found out Lanny Poffo was Randy Savage's brother.
Yeah.
It was like, what? Animal, he was just a legend growing up. I was a big WWF fan when I was younger. Watched NWA on the side, and Road Warriors were always those guys. I was like, man, WWF, they need to get these guys. These guys are going to be awesome. And then they created Demolition. I was a big Demolition fan. The Road Warriors came in, and they never got to do that Axe and Smash versus the Road Warriors, like on a pay-per-view. They had Crush come and just diluted. Axe was injured, so he couldn't do it. And I remember being bummed out, but they were just awesome.
I always had a problem with Demolition's physique versus the Road Warriors. I'm like, this isn't even a comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Road Warriors are jacked. No offense to Demolition. They're not jacked. Crush kind of was. But, the first two.
Right. Axe definitely wasn't. They won me over. I was...
Everybody says this, what you're saying. Lots of fans think that. But in my head, when I was a little kid, I was like, how do people not see the difference between these two physiques, between the two teams?
I remember when the Powers of Pain came into WWF, and I was like, oh my God, these guys are going to kill Demolition.
I got to see them live. Yeah. Holy crap. huge, so tall. Too.
Yeah.
And something cool I want to note, well, not cool because it's about the passing, but something I thought that was interesting. WWE released a statement, as you know they would, as he's one of the greats for them. And in the statement, it's pretty lengthy. I know it's somewhere on the site, but one point that they make a note of is how a term that has become coined in the wrestling industry is road warrior pop. And I thought that was interesting because obviously that's a true statement, but WWE in official statements don't normally acknowledge insider terminology or something like a road warrior pop. So I thought that was a huge kind of like nod to acknowledge that in their tribute to Joe Laurinaitis, aka Animal. Yeah, I mean, I have great memories of Legion of Doom. I was a little bit too young or not born to watch the NWA stuff live. That was certainly some of the first stuff I would go back and find at the video store once I learned about it. But the coolest memory I got to say is I was at Raw 1000 in St. Louis, staying at the WWE Hotel, and Joe Laurinaitis was staying 1 or 2 doors down from me and the people I were with. And he actually came into our room because we crossed paths in the hallway, had a few beers with us, told stories about Hulk, and that was one of the coolest experiences up to that point in my life I'd ever gotten. So rest in peace, and hope all is well with the Laurinaitis family through what's obviously a difficult time here.
Hawk had passed away in 2003, just a few months after they had teamed together in Japan. They had faced the Shane twins in July of 2003. Hawk passed away in October of 2003. They were inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame a couple years later, with Laurinaitis and Paul Ellering doing the induction. And Animal actually had a match on July 17, 2012, defeating Heath Slater on SmackDown when Heath Slater was doing that gimmick.
Jobs to the Legends, yeah.
That was the build. That was the build up to Raw 1000. Yeah.
That's where you saw him.
Yeah, the experience I had with him was the night before Raw 1000 in the hotel. But that match he had that's why he was there, because remember all the guys that beat Heath came back. Sid, Psycho Sid and Lita, everybody that had something to do with beating Heath in that run came for the culmination at Raw 1000.
Yeah. Jody Shauna Jenkins with Super Chat saying, I don't think there's been a stronger tag feud than Road Warriors versus the Koloffs. Legendary. I caught that later. Like I was kind of like with Justin, it was a little before my time, but going back and watching it, I mean, those NWA feuds with the Road Warriors back in those days were just insane.
But not to disrespect him or anybody, but there's so many great feuds for tag teams. I mean, you also have to put the Midnights and the Rock and Rollers. There was a lot. The Horsemen,
yeah.
But man, Road Warrior Pop was a real thing.
Yeah. They had some great moments in WWF too, but never had those legendary feuds like they had with the NWA. I felt like WWF never truly had them in the right program.
Well, they didn't get a lot of rhythm. The 91 was okay, but the 92, SummerSlam 92 was supposed to be a big deal, and they showed it at Dark Side of the Ring. Hulk showed up in bad shape.
So there's always so much your hands get tied, and as a company, when stuff like that happens, they don't trust you.
Yeah.
Things like that happen. They did definitely over commercialize them.
Yeah.
With
do you remember they had the doll for a while?
Yes.
Rocco.
Oh
my God! First, the orange. It looked like construction gear with the black spikes instead of the silver spikes. Yeah, and not being the Road Warriors anymore, just being the Legion of Doom, which they had been known as that as well. The whole group used to be called the Legion of Doom, but they just watered them down.
And going with Legion of Doom was because they had the Ultimate Warrior already there, right? That's
why. Yeah. That's why Kerry Von Erich couldn't be the modern day Warrior either.
Gotcha.
And then he just became Texas Tornado, but
right. All right. So again, good to go down memory lane there, thinking of the memories of Road Warrior Animal. Talk about Road Warrior Pop. I mean, Miro, when he made his debut at AEW Dynamite a few weeks ago, obviously to a very limited audience, but got a pandemic Road Warrior Pop because it was pretty loud to be heard. And Miro got his first match tonight. It was what kicked off Dynamite. Miro and Kip Sabian up against Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. So again, first time getting to see Miro, the entrance, ring gear, the whole 9 yards. To be expected. Miro ends up picking up the victory, ends up doing the accolade, the same finish he had in WWE. Does that to Sonny Kiss. So overall, he looked in phenomenal shape, Matt. I mean, this was, I think, a good first showing for him.
He did look good. I just don't like him being married to J-Bro. No offense to Kip.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a bigger deal than this. No offense.
This match was really sloppy. Sonny Kiss and I felt like Kip Sabian were just off. And Miro, he should have just had a squash, just a singles squash match and just destroyed somebody. I thought this went a little too long, but it was still the right finish. Miro getting the win for his team.
Right, but he needs to be away from this Kip stuff, like, altogether. He does not need to be a part of them. I don't believe they're friends in real life, and if they are, it makes me think he's a J Brown too. I don't want to think that. I want to think he's a main event headline star that we know he is. You know what I mean? He's a big deal.
You are the company you keep.
But seriously, look how they booked Kip Sabian. You know what I mean? Come on. Penelope Ford, okay. Not Kip Sabian.
Yeah. Maybe he turns on Kip at the wedding and destroys him and then goes on his own. But
because I still think Penelope Ford could be a big star.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she has the poise. She carries herself well.
Yep.
I mean, she has all the qualities. I'm not going to get political, but a super chat here saying he's Bear Hudson saying he's sad today at the loss of Road Warrior Animal and sad with some of the other stuff that's been going on in the news today. And it's been a rough. I mean, it's such a sad year. It's been.
It is.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
It's a low bar for 2021.
Yeah,
Worst.
no kidding.
Literally the worst year of all time.
Yeah.
Moving on here with Dynamite again. Miro and
yeah.
Sabi and get the win. Right as they are exiting, here comes Eddie Kingston entering to the ring, full
This
head of
was
steam.
cool. This was cool.
Yeah, a great promo here. He demands keep it on the hard camera. Don't be doing any camera cuts because I'm talking right to this camera. Something you don't often hear a wrestler vocalize, calling the shots there. Basically cuts a promo saying he was, again, never eliminated technically from that Battle Royal some weeks back at the pay-per-view. And that John Moxley, I want, you're mine. I deserve a title shot. Of course, this is a pivot and audible from what was supposed to be a 6-man tag tonight. But Lance Archer, as one of the news things we'll talk about, Lance Archer not there tonight. He won't be there for 14 days. He has come down and tested positive with COVID. So what was supposed to be a 6-man tag got
switched. Okay.
Got switched off here. And so here comes Moxley out of the crowd and comes in. I never liked this though. He and Kingston nose to nose, head to head each other until the refs come. I just don't like the nose to nose.
I normally don't either, but I like this for Eddie Kingston. I like this. This made me felt like he was being brought up. I liked it.
Oh, I liked it, Eddie Kingston.
Normally I don't.
I liked it.
No, let me be very clear. That visual I don't normally like. I know what you're talking about, the nose to nose crap. With him, I felt it worked because you would think Moxley would punch anyone else in the mouth. Well, why didn't he punch him in the mouth? Do you know what I mean? So it made me think Eddie has more respect for Eddie Kingston, maybe.
Yeah.
On that logic, I like it. So that wins me over on that logic. But
do you know what I mean? Like I thought it made him look better. It brought him up more.
But to me, I think if I'm believing in Eddie Kingston being the badass who's coming out with all these balls, calling Moxley, if Moxley gets right at the ring, why aren't you taking the shot at him? Why are you just going nose to nose?
To show you what a mark for him I am, I'm going to keep defending him and rationalizing because he's a heel.
Right.
That's why.
And he had a good reason for why he was getting a world title shot, even though he hasn't won a match on Dynamite or pay-per-view yet.
He wasn't eliminated.
But he wasn't eliminated. And that promo, it shows you. I mean, this was what promos are supposed to do. It's supposed to get you excited for a match. And that match, I wasn't excited for when they announced it. I knew it was going to be good, but you knew Eddie Kingston had no chance. But once Eddie cut that promo, I was in. I'm like, all right, you got me. You sold me. I'm excited for this match. I was more excited for that than the Gauntlet match on NXT after that promo.
Me too.
Yeah, I do think, I know we'll get to NXT. I do actually think, though, when I looked at the main event side by side, I think the NXT main event, although longer, was better. It had better action and it meant something. Like I knew there wasn't gonna be like a title change happening with AEW, but with NXT, I could have. Any of those 5 guys could go on to fight Finn Balor. So NXT had a level of unpredictability, but we'll get to that later on here. All right, so that break apart happens, pull apart happens with all the refs. Next up, we got Kenny Omega. He comes out to the commentary desk doing a little color commentary as his buddy Hangman Page is going to go up against Evil Uno. So all kinds of stuff Matt Morgan loves here.
No, he looked like a scrub. Like dress up. I'm not saying you got to come out in a 3-piece suit, but it didn't look like a star to me. I'm sorry.
No, I kind of take the same thing. I took the same thing. He gets a big entry. I mean, he's supposed to be one of the pillars of this organization, and he comes out in gym shorts and a t-shirt.
That's what we look like when we're going through the early run of TV before TV starts that night to test pyro, test your entrance, test the camera shots. Like, that's what you do at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the clothes you wear. You just got back from the gym. You're downing a shake. You're walking through Gorilla, and you give them your times. You give them your steps so the camera can pick all that crap up, and then later that night it's live. That's the shit you wear when you do that. What he was wearing.
Yeah, but we're still talking about Omega, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But he's just doing commentary, though. I don't know.
But he came out with a huge entrance, all the pyro going off. He looked like a Star's entrance with a scrub, physically, just like what he was wearing. He looked like a fan that had an opportunity to have a really cool entrance.
Yeah.
If you were clicking through the channels, you didn't follow wrestling, he did not look like a star. He didn't carry himself like a star.
He does look. I've done the media like access on WrestleMania weekends, and they have the thing where they set up the entranceway and the fans can pick an entrance. He does look like he was doing that. He's
what they should have done is just have him already at ringside on commentary when they came back from break. So
yeah, not look like he just came back from the gym. I don't know. No. I don't know. I think he is very important to that company.
Yeah,
and I just hate to see them continue week after week to put him in situations and make him not look like a big star. That's all.
And I gotta say, they're starting to lose me on this Page and Omega feud.
Starting to.
I mean, since the split. I mean, Page is already. I feel like Page is losing steam with this. He's losing his edge. Just doing matches, and it's kind of like his personality all of a sudden got taken away from him. And I know they're trying to do a slow burn or something, but you don't want to cool guys off either.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I just feel like Kenny Omega works really well in the environment of Japan and where he got over. I just don't feel like he translates as well as he or Tony Khan or people might have it. I just don't think he's worked over here in AEW.
I want to see him. He has to have heard it enough to where he's got to know people aren't just being haters when we're talking about his promos. Like, I hope so. I hope it's not one of those, I'm just going to be myself. Screw everybody else. Of course you want to be yourself. But I'll give you an example. I thought, like, when everyone used to say to me, I talk too fast. It doesn't fit my size. Now that I'm older and I watch back, part of that's true. Part of it's true. It would make me look, if I wasn't in the ring next to somebody, like dwarfing them, and I was by myself in a promo with nobody else in it, you wouldn't know I was 7 feet tall, 300 pounds. So there's something to be said with your cadence, your tone, your pitch, and your rhythm on how you cut promos and just how you talk in general. And there's something about when he talks, I just don't like it. I don't know how else to say it. I don't like it.
You know who I feel like would be someone he should listen to on commentary would be Bret Hart back in the day, because Bret Hart didn't have that crazy wrestler voice, or didn't sound like he was cutting a promo and he'd be on commentary, but you believed everything he said and he got you sucked in, and he expanded the feud. He made it bigger. This Omega on commentary did nothing to make me more interested in his stuff with Page.
I think it's hurting him.
Yeah.
I do. I think it hurts him. I think he's too cute. He's still being too cutesy out there, and I don't know. And it hurts Page in a way.
Yeah, so nonetheless, he's on commentary as we have Hangman up against Evil Uno, and this match, I believe, was 2-segment match. They had
I like this match for what it's worth.
Yeah, this was actually, I think, for Evil Uno, who I know we've had our critiques of. I thought he looks. This is probably his best match. I'm
a fan of Evil, of the whole Dark Order. I have come full circle.
It's full circle.
Okay, maybe not the guys with the mask. What was it, 5 and 10 or something?
5 and 9. 5 and 9, 10. I think.
One's definitely 10. There's 10 on his chest. There's 2 of them that I was like, about. But the rest of them I like. I like Uno, Evil Uno. He's got in better shape. He took constructive criticism, obviously. Got in good shape. You got to give him credit for that. And his match was good. I like his gimmick, though. I like his character. Whenever they come out on stage, watch him. He's always sticking out with his mannerisms, his arm behind his back. He always does that gimmick. And he's always pointing and act like he's directing traffic with the group, even though he's not the leader.
Now, sorry, go ahead.
Nothing.
Well, I know a big reason that you like the Dark Order is Reynolds and how funny they are on
Silver.
being Silver, and how funny they are on being the Elite. But if their gimmick is their gimmick supposed, are they supposed to be a scare, like kind of a scary, dangerous cult, or are they supposed to be funny? Because on Dynamite they don't come across as funny.
You're right, they don't. But I don't know what they come across to me as. I get it as a cult. I don't, but I think Anna Jay's a badass. I think putting Colt, I like Colt's storyline in it. I actually like that a lot. I think he's doing a good job with it. Mm-hmm. Better than I first thought. I was like, what the hell is he doing in this group?
Yeah, I just think if they're supposed to be a cult, just because. Did you guys watch Game of Thrones?
Oh boy,
no.
Yes.
Okay, you remember that season where they had the this? I forget the name. It was like the Sept of Valor, and you had the High Sparrow, and they made Cersei walk naked down the street.
Oh,
it was this cult that kind of took over King's Landing. And so if they were doing that, and then on the side you had this other show that they were doing where they're being funny and hilarious and joking with Cersei, and they're doing all these pranks. There's a disconnect between what you're presenting on screen to millions of people and or to over a million people.
This is true. That is true.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like them though. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why.
I just think if they're funny, then make them funny, on TV too, I guess.
But they're not all. Well, yeah, they are. You got to watch Being the Elite. I don't know why you guys don't watch it.
All right, Bobby. Matt, this one's for you. Bobby Burns saying, another Morgan rant on Omega. Here we go again.
All right, so you didn't get the note. Bobby Burns cut off.
Gotcha. Dustin X.
No, he's not. No, he's not. I'm just kidding. I hate when you guys cut people off. Don't cut people off. Sorry.
Dustin X saying, LOL, Fat Evil Uno wouldn't be as fast like this Uno. He did a wrestling roll, a run to the turnbuckle, etc. Yeah, he's gotten in good shape. He looks great out there.
He took constructive criticism.
Yeah. And again, I agree with you. The match itself was strong. It was good. I just think Hangman Page is being watered down a bit, and I'd like to see this get more intense.
He is. I think we need to see promos out of him.
Yeah.
And they just need to Kenny Omega get the freak out of the whole picture. Gone. No more tag team. No more bromance talking about it, that you want nothing to do with him anymore. We know this already. We knew this weeks ago. We don't need a follow up with the same damn staple in the same storyline. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're stuck on the same picture box of the same storyline arc. We don't need to continue to hear this and see this. We get it, Kenny. You don't want to be with him anymore. Move on then.
What I wonder is,
it's annoying.
I wonder if this is a case of, obviously, again, Tony Khan has big respect and appreciation for Kenny Omega. He wouldn't have had him be one of, again, the pillars coming into this whole thing. I almost wonder if Tony's being maybe two hands off, trying to let Kenny and Page trust them to do this, and they have like this long, great, slow burn. I almost wonder if somebody needs to step in and say, we need to fix some things. Of course somebody needs
to step in. I mean, no disrespect. The Young Bucks, I love them to death. Very good friends. All right? I helped them get a job at goddamn TNA. I love these guys to death. I do. But they've never ran a company before. So I'm hoping people are stepping in and saying at the right times. That's a tough spot to be in because those are your EVPs, right?
Right.
But I'm hoping. But those guys are smart enough. I know the Bucks are, at least, to reach out for help and get it from the Billy Guns of the world, the Deans and the Arns. I don't know Kenny, so I'm hoping he is too. I hope he's smart enough to be doing that. Other than that, somebody needs to step in and help him now because I expect him to be the top dog in that company.
Yeah. And Paige was hot. Paige was super hot, so you don't want to,
Paige was hot, but Kenny Omega coming in was supposed to be the number one wrestler in the world.
Yeah, I'm talking about just 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, Paige was hot.
Paige, yes.
Get him back to drinking that Jack and acting crazy and being unpredictable and
cowboy shit.
Yeah, that's what people got into.
Well, if somebody wants to help them with the company, they also need, again, the refs. I mean, Jim Ross twice tonight in the first match, and then I think in the last match, screaming about the refs. The first match, he's like, "Is there any other ref here?" Because the ref kept missing everything, and like it was a terrible job distracting them. And then at the end of the night, which we'll get to, he's like, He's like, "Come on, refs! Is there anybody else here that can pull these guys?"
He called Omega out for wearing what he was wearing. I don't know if you caught that. Said Dex dressed up for the occasion.
Yeah. Tina Miller saying Kenny should either attack him for real or move on.
Yes.
Michael the Virus saying I'm good with slow burns. Y'all need to chill out. Tell me what slow burn was going downhill that picked back up and got awesome. Because usually, like MJF versus Cody was a slow burn, but that was good the whole time. It wasn't
This is
like
not
they
a
were
slow burn. They're stopped. They're done. We were told they were done. We were told. The exclamation mark was him walking off on his own after that pay-per-view. And then to come back and go, and going on commentary and saying literally the same things he said tonight the last 3 weeks during his Hangman's matches. This ain't a slow burn. It feels like they don't know where they're going with this, and they're buying time to get them somewhere. And if it's going to be a one-on-one single feud, then let's go, because the slow burn, Mike, was when we thought Hangman was going to be the one to turn on Kenny for quite a while. If you remember when he was going to look like he was teasing the buckshot lariat when Kenny's back was turned in the ring months ago. I want to say right before or after they won the tag titles. That's how long this has been going. So this is a slow burn storyline. They were not a tag team to up the tag division. They were a tag team and tag team champions to go into a singles feud. They need to get to it.
So next up, we got a backstage with Tony Schiavone. He's knocking on the door of the Young Bucks, and only Matt comes out. Matt says he's going to handle it, and Tony asking questions, asking about, have they lost title opportunities, they've lost friendships, brings up FTR. Finally, Matt says, Tony, you're trying to make me mad, and he asks if he can see Tony's phone, destroys Tony Schiavone's cell phone, then says he feels bad and pulls out a wad of cash and tosses it at Tony to go get an upgrade for a new phone, and that's that. So more Bucks being douchebags here.
I mean, they are being douchebags, but does anybody buy that they'd really be like this?
No, that's the thing. I can't. They're such baby faces.
They are, and this is going to be tough for them. But I hope they're able to do this, because this is paramount for them to be able to be good heels, in my opinion, to get to that next level that they can still get to as a babyface tag team.
Well, and why turn heel now when they're going into a feud with FTR? FTR clearly heels, so why turn heel now?
This is where people need to step in and stop this.
Yeah.
Also,
all the teams right now are heels. All the big teams, other than I guess the Best Friends, but Jericho and Hager just started a team. They're heels. Young Bucks have turned clearly, and it just makes no sense to me. If you want the Young Bucks and FTR, keep Young Bucks babyface. If they want to turn heel, turn them heel after that.
Also, a little odd too that they would decide to have the Bucks start to turn heel right when they're getting back to now selling tickets. I don't know. To me, that just seems odd. Like, they're advertising all night about how they have tickets on sale. We saw fans there. Like, that just seems odd. That when
there's that too. No, that's a good point. Just in general, it doesn't feel right. I don't know.
But do you think their fan base cares if they're heels or baby faces?
They're gonna get cheered because of how they wrestle.
And they're gonna wrestle. They're gonna wrestle the same style, whether they're heel or faces.
I hope they don't. I hope I am pleasantly surprised where Matt starts going to the top rope and and climbs right back down, or you know what I mean. That'd be pretty cool. They got to keep their matches short doing that, I'll say, but still, just take everything away from the fans. That'd be major heat.
Real quick, Joey Dorjohn saying, just in general, I thought AEW was off tonight. Most everything felt flat and slow. I thought Cody coming back was way too soon. Raj, please watch BTE and DK. DK, I think he means Dark.
What does he mean?
I think it's Dark. DK, what else would... Yeah, it must be Dark.
Oh, Dark.
Yeah.
Dude, you'll love it's a good show.
I've watched it a couple times.
All right, so next up we got a title match for the TNT Championship. Brody Lee defending against Orange Cassidy. This was, the first part of the match was Brody dominating, as you would figure he would.
Yes.
And then Orange gets a big kind of comeback. I love Orange Cassidy's comeback. Big comeback. He's doing all the shtick. He's got Brody flustered. Some of the Dark Order members start getting involved. And ultimately ends up being that Orange Cassidy getting ready to hit his big punch. Brody throws John Silver in the way. He hits John Silver. That gives a chance for Brody to hit the powerbomb, and then he does his discus spinning clothesline, and that gets the victory for Brody Lee. But then lights shut out. What do we have here? And by the way, I want to give credit to AEW commentators. Lights go out, and in WWE it drives me nuts. And lights go out, and it's always like, oh my God, what's happening? Who's here? Who was that? AEW played it nice and calm. Lights go out, and Tony Schiavone just goes, who do we have here? And just a much more natural, organic reaction versus the over-the-top stuff. So I want to give credit to AEW.
And when they knew it was Cody, they were like, "Oh, well, are they like? Is this a ruse by the Dark Order?" You know, like they weren't like, "What? Whose music is that?" When it's someone's music you've heard over and over.
Right. So I just want to give credit to AEW because I thought that was good. Anyways, ends up being Cody. Cody pops up the entranceway. He comes out. Just obviously Brody scatters, but the minions get a taste of Cody, who is just aggressive fashion. He's back with dark hair, no more of the blonde. So Cody is back, and he is coming for the Dark Order. Matt, what'd you think of the match and Cody's return?
I liked it. I saw some fans thought it was too early. Maybe, but I also feel this show needs him.
Yeah,
right now I do.
Yeah, especially with Lance Archer out and everything, and the main event plans kind of got thrown in the air.
That changes things. Yeah,
you got to sometimes make an audible, and So Cody had been filming that game show that's going to be debuting on TBS, and he had teased that he was going to be there tonight before the show. So it's kind of expected. I thought he was going to cost Brody Lee the title, so I'm glad they did this instead because I thought it's way too soon for Brody Lee to lose.
I would have kicked my television in.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you, Raj. I think this was an audible because I definitely got the feeling in the rumblings that I'd heard when Cody disappeared from TV that this was going to be a lot longer than. Right. I mean, what's it been 4 or 5 weeks?
Where can I find these rumblings?
On Wrestling Inc. Check it out.
Put your ear to the ground, Matt Morgan.
So rumblings is wrestling rumors?
Well, no, you know how plans in wrestling change all the time. But
I was trying to get him to stooge off if he's calling somebody.
I don't reveal sources, Matt.
Yeah, exactly.
And then backstage, Brody Lee grabs the mic and says Cody's a coward. And basically challenges him to a dog collar match and gives him a week to answer him.
Brody's promo here was awesome. I thought it reminded me of like those '80s NWA promos where the wrestler just comes, grabs the mic, super pissed, and issues that challenge. So I thought that was awesome.
It needed to be because his promos and he's a good promo, but his promos lately have not been good. They've been off.
Yeah,
especially when he won the title. I was really disappointed in his promo after he won that title. It was terrible. And I don't like saying that. I like Brody, but tonight's was fire. I do like that. AEW has been doing a good job with this. If you notice, when they come back through that ramp, they just grab a friggin' mic right there, or the camera. They'll just pull the camera right to the guy's face when it's Moxley or something, steaming hot, and just cut that promo right to the camera right there. It looks so less set up. It looks more organic. It feels more organic.
Yeah,
like you said, NWA. It's almost like that. The new NWA does, where they have like that interview table kind of gimmick. When the match is done, they come out and they start talking.
Yeah.
It's just such a better flow. You just know that you're going to get the guys to speak honestly versus the terrible way that WWE has turned backstage promos into, which is my guest at this time, and you bring them in. It's such a sterile, bland environment. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Real quick, a couple people. Just asking why I don't like being the elite. I find being the elite entertaining when I watch it. The only thing is I find it counterproductive. Like after this tonight, like Brody Lee cutting that fire promo, saying he wants Cody in a dog collar match. Now seeing them on the next being the elite, joking around and arguing over pizza, just takes me out of it. I think it just takes me out. I don't want to see Orton and Edge hanging out after Orton just attacked Edge brutally like earlier this year.
All of those characters on that show, I would say yes for. But Brody's a dick on that show too. He's not funny on purpose. But the rest of them, yes, it does break. I'll admit it. A lot of it does break kayfabe, and even some storylines here and there. But I normally would care. I don't know why I don't. And I'm more entertained by that show sometimes more than I am even AEW itself.
Yeah.
There's a certain, and Matt, you fall into this. I think you'd admit this. There is a passionate AEW fan base that they kind of let them slide on a lot of rules. This being one of them.
I just admitted it right there.
Yeah.
And I normally wouldn't. This is true, and I don't know why. I'm entertained by it though.
I think here's why I think here's what I think it is for you and for everybody that feels the same way. I think it's because WWE has been so unopposed for real competition in the last 20 years, and things and portions of WWE's presentation has gotten so bad, watered down, or what have you, that people want AEW to succeed, and they want AEW to challenge and make the whole business, especially WWE, better. So I think it's like you and other fans like that are just like, you know what, I'm not going to give AEW a hard time because I want it to work.
But when they were doing BTE before AEW was even a thing, I was like their number one fan.
But I thought it was great then because you didn't have TV and you didn't have these feuds then. And
they were in like New Japan and stuff, right?
Yeah.
They were like, yeah.
But
they do break Ava Blood on it. If this was something else, I'd be calling them out. But being hypocritical. But I do love it. It's my favorite show. It is.
All right. So we get Matt Hardy on his birthday limping out to the ring alongside Private Party. Matt cutting a promo talking about how he was attacked a week earlier, and Jericho and Jake Hager are his prime suspects. Jericho, namely. So then Jericho and the rest of the Inner Circle come out, back and forth, and basically we're going to get Isaiah Cassidy's going to have a match next week against Jericho, and Isaiah Cassidy's big tagline, what if I make Chris Jericho my Le Champion bitch?
They use that line too much. Making you my bitch. They use that a lot. And in WWE too. I feel like that line.
Oh, yes, they do.
That's always the go home line.
I'm excited for that match though. I'll tell you that. But then it's up to them to follow through. They didn't follow through when Scorpio Sky had an amazing match with Jericho. There was not much follow-up after that. I would have started grooming him that minute. If you were talking about a TNT title or something like that, I would have thrown that thing on him. I would have groomed him for that after his Scorpio Sky's match versus Jericho. Now, what's his Isaiah? What's his name? You said
Isaiah Cassidy.
Isaiah Cassidy. Making names up. He's off the freaking hook. Like this is going to be an amazing match, and I hope But what sucks is a tag wrestler, so they're not gonna break the tag team up, to get this guy in some sort of singles push. Although I do think that's his future. I no offense to his partner.
Yeah, Isaiah Cassidy. I mean, this was his first promo. I think his first singles promo from the ring. You could tell he's a little nervous, but
yes.
Cutting a promo against Jericho.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Nerve-wracking.
Right. Yeah, but he held his own. I'm looking forward to it, and Jericho's gonna do everything he can to make him
get him over big time. Yeah.
And it's Jericho's 30 years next year. Next year. Is it next week or the week after?
2 weeks, October 7th, I think.
Oh, gotcha.
They got a big 2 weeks. They're gonna have October 7th, 30 years of Jericho to celebrate. They're gonna pull out all kinds of great. I mean, I got to think Jericho's got to do some of the things that remember the old WCW thing where he had the man of 1,004 holds and he read all the holds.
Have Dean Malenko come out?
Yeah, I mean, I got to think they're gonna rehash some things that they can get away with without infringing on anything copywritten by WWE.
Well, Dean Malenko works there. They could easily do something with them.
But that's that week, and the next week is the 1-year anniversary of Dynamite, where they're going to obviously have, it's probably gonna be like a pay-per-view caliber show. So,
right.
The next thing, Raj, I walked in the room halfway through this, so fill me in here. So FTR, I walked into FTR being in the ring, cutting a promo to the Best Friends, and FTR basically not fighting them, and they said that they're going to have a match next week against SCU. What happened here? Did you catch this?
So Tully, I think Tully kind of flubbed up this promo a little bit. What was it called? The Gold Rush?
20 minutes with greatness?
20 minutes of greatness, that's what it was. So Tully, I think, forgot to say that line. It was kind of unclear what he was saying. He's saying next week they're going to face SCU, and there's 20 minutes, and a match is usually an hour, but this time it's 20 minutes. And then Dax Harwood got in and said it's brushed with greatness. So what it sounds like is it's a 20-minute. They have 20 minutes to beat the champs. They didn't make it clear if it's non-title or not, because otherwise all it is that if it's a draw, it counts as a win for FTR on their win-loss record.
But what I'm asking was, Best Friends, Chuck and Trent were out there ready to have a match with them.
Yeah. So
and FTR is no, you're just because you win in a street fight doesn't mean you're worthy of.
Yeah. So after they announced next week for SCU, then the Best Friends came out, Trent, and then he said, "Come on, let's do this match now." They looked like they were accepting, but then they said no and walked away. So teasing something in the future for that.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, I came in halfway through, but that sounds like nothing really came off completely.
The stip it didn't do much unless it's. If you beat the champs within 20 minutes, you get a title shot. But the way they were talking at the end of that segment, it made it sound like the 20-minute, whatever it's called, is for the titles.
Okay. So that's next week. All right, next up we got a tag team match with the women, Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida up against Ivelisse and Diamante. This one ended ultimately with a victory for the babyfaces. This saw Shida get the victory over Diamante with a running knee and the pinfall there. So
very predictable match. Good
yeah.
match. Great stuff. Good match. What else do you say about it? Very predictable, though.
Yeah, it's exactly what it should be. You have AEW's Women's Champion. You get the pinfall, but you're not going to get the pinfall on the NWA Champion right now. So it made sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Thunder Rosa and Ivelisse had some heat, I guess, last week during their match, but
Ivelisse has heat with everybody.
I know, man. It's like, come on, you're getting your break, Ivelisse.
What are you doing? We've been begging for you to get an opportunity. Stop messing them up, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
She goes back to.
She's a female main event talent, dude. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope she's able to get it here because I don't even like her. I mean, I like her in her tag team. I do. I think they work well together, her and Diamante, but I still think she's a huge star by herself. I really do.
Yeah.
I just want to see her get that chance, man. I hope she doesn't mess this one up because she's good.
Yeah, it's been a reputation has followed with her.
Oh, yes, I did, Bobby Burns. Way to redeem yourself. Oh, see, he had to talk shit at the end by saying, Morgan, go watch it. Dude, I'm going to come in. I'm going to pull your head. No. I'm going to pull your hood down. I'm going to wedge you. No. Did you guys see this Ben Carter versus Scorpio Sky?
I did. We have an interview with Ben Carter yesterday, and I had to watch it.
This match was insanity. Ben Carter is amazing. And obviously so is Scorp. This is a great match, guys. Watch it. It's called, they didn't call it dark, though.
No, it was One Night Dynamite, and we'll get to that here in a minute. It did a really good
Dynamite.
Late Night Dynamite.
Late Night Dynamite. It did a really good rating. It had the NBA lead in with the Inside the NBA show, but still, it was on at 12:38 on the East Coast, and it did 585,000 viewers. So, a really good number for that time slot.
I hate to sound like a jerk, but that's when you're falling asleep after the basketball game. You didn't turn the channel.
Yeah, I mean, I had a hard time staying up.
Yeah,
but once it was on, it was a good show. And you know, again, you were talking about Scorpio Sky. You got to give credit to Scorpio Sky too. But Ben Carter,
yes,
that was a star-making performance. I'm sure he gets signed after that.
For sure.
We get in the backstage promo, another one with MJF and Jericho. This was funny. Obviously, they had the thing in the past where they've converged and they are just overly complimentary to each other. And then as they walk away, they let their true feelings about it. They did it at it again until finally Jericho confronts MJF and MJF confronts Jericho. But they didn't really actually mean to call each other losers. They were talking about limo drivers and Tony Schiavone, and so they smile and kiss and make up. And this, I'm not sure. This is a slow burn, obviously, but this is fun. I get a kick out of these guys on screen every time. So.
Yes, only good things are going to happen when they're both on.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was
absolutely great. So they run down what we got next week. So next week on Dynamite, Jericho versus Isaiah Cassidy. Britt Baker finally returns into actual in-ring, not a cinematic match. FTR versus SCU. We get Ricky Starks up against Darby Allin, and Jon Moxley will appear whether he is champion or not. Champion or not, because he's going to defend here in the. Yeah, I always appreciate when they at least acknowledge.
That detail.
Yep. So Moxley champion defending against Eddie Kingston. A match. I don't like going through all the moves and everything basically, but at the end of the day, back and forth match. Both sides get their chances here. Ultimately, though, Moxley's got like a bulldog choke on Eddie. Eddie never taps, so again, he never taps. He passes out, or passes out, and referee stops the match. Moxley gets the win. Before we get to the shenanigans after the match, Matt, what do you think of it?
Good. This is great. I liked it. I'd like to see Eddie get a little bit in better shape now. He's getting this awesome opportunity. His promos are amazing. And I'm not saying he's got to be a muscle-bound guy. He doesn't. Doesn't fit his character. Maybe it's his outfit. I don't know. Something there. Because, again, he's another one that I want to watch. Every time I tune in each week now, he's probably my top 3 act that I want to see.
Yeah, maybe if he wore something like New Jack's gear or something, something like that.
Like he's one that I think should be wearing that cutoff T-shirt, like something like that, like to that effect. You know what I mean? People give Kevin Owens a hard time about wearing whatever he wears and things like that. This is the one that should be wearing something like that. Where it works. It works.
I agree. Eddie is trying to dress like a wrestler, wearing spandex and this and that.
Right.
He should be dressed as if he was going to get a fight. On the street.
Yes, on the street.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. His promos, everything screams Street Fighter, and then he's
stabbing people in the eye. Yes.
Yes. So Moxley gets the win, and then after the fact, Lucha Brothers run down. They start double teaming on Moxley. Then Will Hobbs, who again was supposed to be part of the original main event 6-man tag, he comes out to save Moxley. Then after that, we eventually get Taz and Ricky Darby Allin comes out. Yeah, he runs out of the ring, skateboard, clears everybody. Then here comes Stark. Stark comes in, spears Allin. At the end of the whole thing, all the heels standing over tall on the baby faces, and that's how Dynamite goes off. Real quick with Moxley, people who watched me 9 years ago on Chair Shot Reality know that I was so excited when Moxley got signed to the FCW, and then I counted down for this Dean Ambrose to show up, and I had all these ideas. Shield, cool. Singles, Dean Ambrose, but I let it pass because WWE. Got so excited for Moxley and AEW, handcuffs off. I feel like John Moxley is like trying to sell me on him being a tough guy, but I'm not buying into it. I don't know. Like the neck cracking and all the I'm so crazy. I don't know. Like I want to be your biggest fan, but I don't know. Moxley
See, I don't think he needs to be champion. I don't. I think the championship on his shoulder when he's doing all those crazy isms that he normally has and does, his body mechanics he does, his isms, does not require him to be a champion to do it. I do think he's out there. I do buy into it, not all the way, but a little bit, enough to give you that independent guy that he was doing for a long time there. As John Moxley, you know what I'm talking about? Those fire promos he was cutting. I forget some of the names of those indie companies he was doing it with. I don't want to say Jakara, but
CZW.
Yeah. He was doing some really banger promos.
Right.
That's how I first found out who he was. And people like, this guy's like the next Roddy Piper. You should see him. That kind of thing. And I started watching all of his crap on YouTube. It was like, his promos are freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just don't think he is the main event, the top of the chain type of talent. He doesn't have to be, though. I don't believe he should. He doesn't have to be.
Yeah, and kind of to that point, he's been champion for a while now. They're trying to push him as the guy, but I think almost anyone you ask who the top star in AEW is, everyone's going to say Jericho. And it's not even a debate, with Jericho and Moxley. And I don't see Moxley getting to that Jericho spot
and that's okay. And that's
which is fine. Not everyone,
And to be fair, nobody thinks Drew McIntyre is the top dog in WWE.
Right.
I don't think they do. I think everyone would say Randy or somebody like that, or something to that effect. But that's why a championship can help. A championship can help the talent, not vice versa. Where Jericho made that title, this title is supposed to be helping Moxley, and that's the problem. This title hasn't been around long enough yet for it to be making anybody. It's a brand new title.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any lineage to it yet. It doesn't have Stone Cold hasn't wore it. Bret Hart hasn't wore it. Shawn Michaels had. You can't play highlight videos of all these other amazing talents that won that title beforehand. Right. And now this guy's got it, which automatically makes you go, wow, he's on the level of those guys. Because it's a new title.
Yeah.
So I would have kept it on Jericho. I'm dead serious. I would never have taken it off him.
Well, he is handicapped too right now with not having a crowd. And so
definitely. No question. I'm not crapping on him. I'm a fan of him. I just don't think he needs a title. I think he's moreover. I'm just being honest. I don't think he needs to have a title.
Well, I can't say that I'm a fan of Omega, and that's why I said earlier, I don't think Omega translates. I am a fan of Moxley. I'm just calling the critique out of I want him to. You
want the next step.
Yes, exactly. I want him to succeed. Not to say I want Kenny to fail, but I just don't get Kenny. Moxley, I like. Back to what Matt said. I remember when I saw those CZW promos. Yeah, I was hooked. And then when they tried to do the whole thing with he and Mick Foley at the hotel,
the Foley stuff was awesome.
That one, I know that there's so much potential, and I just feel like I'm getting a little bit of a fake version of it.
That's fair. No, that's a fair comment, man.
All right, that was Dynamite. Overall scale or grade, letter grade, scale to 1 to 10. What do you want? However you want to grade it.
1 to 10.
1 to 10.
7.5, 8.
Okay. Raj?
I'll give it a 7. This is for Dynamite. It's not a 7 for this and a 7 for Raw are not the same thing, but Dynamite's usually really good. I thought this was not as good as the past couple weeks, and not even as good as last night. So I'll go with 7.
Yeah, I'll go 7 too. I thought the show was better the first time. I thought it started to tail off.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so let's do some NXT here. I know the NXT fans are gonna say we're gonna shortchange, so I'll try to give it attention, but not go all damn night. We open up number 1 contenders battle royal for the women here. I believe 16 women in it. You can read all the names on Wrestling Inc. But overall,
Tegan Knox was the only one who was scheduled for it that wasn't in it.
So we get a lot of different shenanigans, a lot of different stuff's going on here. Dakota Kai, Rhea Ripley have a subplot going on in here. Ultimately, though, what you need to know, an entertaining finish between Shotzi Blackheart and Candice LeRae on the steps outside. So a fun, creative finish of them. Remember, you got to have your feet hit the floor to be eliminated. So they're both on the steps. Ultimately, LeRae catapults Blackheart to the floor, and Candice LeRae is the new number one contender. So she will be going up against... oh, God. Raj, I just blanked on the champion's name.
Io Shirai.
Io Shirai, thank you. Sorry.
And it should be noted that... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
It should be noted that they got rid of the people at ringside. There had been some positive COVID tests at the NXT with NXT last week. So yeah, they got rid of the fans. I don't know what they're doing with commentary.
And they piped in sound.
Yeah, they piped in sound. So they went to the piped in sound without the people, the developmental talent at ringside. I'm not sure if the commentary, if they moved them purposely. Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett weren't there this week. And so
Tom did commentary there. Beth was still back at home doing commentary from remote. I believe is how they did that.
Right. Yeah. So this show was there was some changes to it, and I think with the tax stuff we'll get to, it feels like that was part of it.
Yeah. And this is kind of key timing because they are building to a takeover that is a week from Sunday. So another quick takeover, and on a Sunday it should be noted. Takeovers normally Saturdays. So
yeah.
All right, we get a Damian Priest backstage promo. He's gonna have a match later. He's gonna have a match at Takeover against Johnny Gargano, but tonight he's gonna go up against Austin Theory. Priest just talked about how Theory doesn't have much of a winning record, but he's still a formidable competitor. We get a backstage with Fandango, NXT General Manager William Regal. This is pretty funny if you like the comedy stuff and you missed NXT, go check it out. Fandango dressed like Sherlock Holmes, talking with a British accent, which is annoying William Regal. Fandango has like a big whiteboard up, and it's a big number one contendership for the tag team algorithm. Basically, it's taking one participant from each of the main tag teams and then making them team up together in a tournament, which we will get some of later. Which, as Raj alluded to, it looks like it was a part of the audibles being called. So it's a pretty good. If you want to find something fun, to go back and watch this skit. We get Tommaso Ciampa versus Jake Atlas. It was what it should have been. Ciampa very much on the offensive most of the match, and at the end of the match, goes on and hits his fairy tale ending to get the 1, 2, 3. So Tommaso Ciampa standing tall. Matt, you a Ciampa fan?
Absolutely, he's a star. I think he's a star. I know you guys think he's short or whatever, but the presentation of him last week and this week, for me, looked like a star.
No, I agree. I think he's got a great look, and he looks the part in NXT. I just think on the main roster, we've seen time and time again with Vince.
Yeah, he looks.
He's worth doing this right with, in my opinion. Keep him away from the other tall guys. You got a roster full of diminutive talents everywhere, right. Galore even. Freaking keep him with them because it's worth it for him, in my opinion. He could be a huge star.
Yeah, because when you did put him against Karrion Kross. It was believable when Karrion Kross destroyed him,
Yes.
Yeah.
To his credit, obviously he is only like 5'8", but he makes up for the height with the look, the scariness, the intensity.
Yes,
so.
That's what we're saying. But you can't take away from when they do a hard cam shot and he comes up to Braun Strowman's belly button. That what in the hell? That does look like something that Braun Strowman just crapped out. You know what I mean? Like it's don't do that. Don't put him in those situations. He's worth it for me. Like they used to do with Shawn Michaels. Actually, they were very smart with Shawn Michaels on his build. They kept him away for quite a while from bigger talents, and then when they did put him next to big talents, the bigger talents didn't want to sell for him. They went and got him the heater, which made sense. But they did take a long time, if you'll remember, before when Shawn was a singles act. They kept him around the Rick Martels and people of a certain height.
Right. Well, and even. Yeah, and even into 95, 96, when Shawn was carrying the company, they then made it the gimmick that he was like a giant killer, that he could beat Sid, Diesel, Vader. Yeah, they just made that part of the shtick, So
you got to remember the build to get there, though, to make it believable first. You've got to get past the visual. You can't just go to the visual first. They didn't do that. They went. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have Ric Flair beating Nikita Koloff when no one knows who Ric Flair is. But once Ric Flair is built, and his, then it's believable.
Just
I
don't
guess
show the
Nikita Koloff's
visual.
better. Yeah.
Don't show the visuals. All I'm saying. Don't put him in situations where guys are much taller than him. Not
Yeah.
yet. Give him a good year before you start doing that, and then start booking him that way that he's this giant killer. Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
So after the Ciampa gets the win, we actually saw they always do these really well. A nice little profile vignette on Ridge Holland talking about how he, they show clips of him playing rugby, how it's the most violent sport in the world, and so this just was a good little. If you haven't seen Ridge Holland before, this is a good little endorsement of him, and he's going to be in action later up tonight. So then we get into this tag team whatever, and Roderick Strong,
I guess.
yeah, switcheroo. Roderick Strong is paired with Danny Burch. They go up against Fabian Eichner and Raul Mendoza. So they all represent a different team. I'll be honest, I kind of turned away from this. I can't even say that.
Kinda.
Yeah.
It could have been commercial on AEW. I still would not be watching this.
Yeah, well, I say kind of because I had a screen on the entire time in the room that had NXT always on. So it was always on, but I just had no interest in this. I'm sorry.
None. I don't care anybody in that ring. No.
So it ends up being, at least who won. It ends up being a victory for Danny Burch and Roderick Strong. But
sweet.
Moving on.
And Chris went with the $2 super chat saying, "So glad that O'Reilly broke out tonight as a star."
Isn't that akin to being the world's tallest short person? But go ahead.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Bernie DC was saying, really depressing thought. Only Axe and Smash left from the 1990 Survivor Series match with the Ultimate Warrior, Kerry Von Erich, and Legion of Doom versus Mr. Perfect and Demolition. Oh, geez, yeah.
That's my man Bernie. He's from DC. He's a good viewer of this show. He's really loyal.
Yeah, that's depressing. Thanks, man.
Have you ever looked at the stat of like 1992 was like one of the best Royal Rumbles? Have you ever looked at the stat of how many people out of the 30 in the 92 Rumble are gone?
Yeah,
that's.
Yeah, I was watching WrestleMania 5 one time, just like skimming through it, because I was looking to watch Hogan versus Macho Man again, and just the number of people that are no longer with us that are on the card. There's way more people not with us anymore on that card than are.
Yeah. So as everybody knows, back here to NXT, it looks like that Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish versus Danny Burch and Orny Loken will take place sometime later. That will be what determines the new number one contenders for the NXT Tag Champions up against Breezango. So that's where we're at there. We get Damian Priest versus Austin Theory. I'm a huge Damian Priest fan. Again, I recommend you watch this match. I mean, it's a competitive match. They give Austin Theory some offense in here. Priest, again, I can't praise him enough. I love the big man's work. He's a big man. He works like a big man at times. He does throw in he does the old school top rope walk like Taker. He's a huge Taker fan, but then he turns it into a crossbody suplex. Just a great match. I really enjoyed watching this. And at the end of it, he gives his finisher, the Reckoning, to Austin Theory, and Damian Priest gets a victory. After the match, he gets his vest back on. He poses, lights are on him, and then Johnny Gargano super kicks him out of the shadows. So again, to set up for their match at TakeOver. Matt is you're still taller than Damian Priest by several inches, but what do you think of this? How much have you got to watch of Damian Priest's work from a big man standpoint?
He's good. How tall is he?
I think real life, that's 6'6", 6'7".
Is he really?
Yeah.
Huh. I've been
He's kinda
watching
like
him this
Corbin.
whole time, thinking 6'3", 6'4". That's crazy. I know he's that tall.
Yeah.
He's awesome. From day one, he's always looked like a main roster star, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of all the guys on the roster right now in NXT, excluding Karrion Kross, he's the one I see most likely.
I had no idea he was 6'6". Jeez.
Yeah, most likely I could see it on top of a pay-per-view.
Gargano is standing tall. Afterwards, some of you might have missed this. Again, if you're trying to catch between this and AEW, I actually saw this.
There's a high joke in there saying that's an oxymoron, saying Johnny Gargano stands tall.
Standing tall.
But continue.
To be fair, he had Priest laying on the ground, and he was like kneeling over him, so he was standing tall on a laid out Priest. They showed. So again, if you missed this because you're fighting between two shows. They showed this vignette, and I didn't know. I mean, the first 30 seconds, or not 30, first 10 seconds, I didn't know if this was still NXT or if we had moved to commercial because it looked like a video game. and it's somebody trying to. It's a voice. I really couldn't hear what they're saying, and they're trying to break a piece of glass that has the NXT title inside of it. And then as the camera goes up, you then can see tap out. You can see NXT signage, so you know this is still an NXT thing. This person again throws something again at the glass. The glass doesn't break, and then the date comes up for what is going to be the next takeover, October 4th, I think. So this is some mystery person that it sounds like they're going to inject into the NXT title picture, which of course Finn Balor is the champion and will defend. So I don't know. Raj, do you have any idea who this is?
Maybe Karrion Kross. Is his injury?
No way,
that soon. I mean, was that serious, right?
And they would have took if it was going to be this quick. They would have took the title off of him.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, to be in the title picture. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, whoever this is, they are thrusting directly, and which would make sense because, we ended up crowning who the number one contender is, which we'll get to in a second, up against Finn. I don't see Finn dropping this title, so this feels like it's just a reason to get Finn out there to the ring to have whoever this mystery person is eventually confront him. So, so something to keep an eye on. All right, we get Ridge Holland up against. They call him Antonio DeLuca. I want to give a shout out. He's actually a Pittsburgh talent that goes by the name Mambo Italiano. He works here at IWC Wrestling with us. Very entertaining guy. Glad he got this spot. He gets squashed by Ridge Holland, who just shows off all of his impressive strength. So Ridge Holland, good old-fashioned squash match.
What
a lot of people are saying Tessa Blanchard. Dude, that's a good one.
Oh, that'd be pretty sweet. Yeah.
Oh, for the NXT Women's title.
Yeah. There's a couple Bobby Roods in there. Former champion. Yeah.
That's true. I couldn't tell if it was a
Justin LaBar.
Well, I couldn't tell if it was a men's or women's title.
I'm joking.
Yeah, NXT the belts don't really look that different.
Yeah. That would be good though.
Yeah,
that would be pretty sweet.
We do get a backstage of they're talking to Io Shirai, and then Candice and Johnny come and confront her, and then as that happens, Damian Priest opens the door, and then he gets a shot in on Gargano. So
they couldn't even let a whole show go by with Gargano keeping his heat.
He got about 25 minutes.
Seriously, this is what's wrong with today's wrestling, man. They press fast forward. Never mind.
You got about 25 minutes. All right, and finally, I had to take a piece of notes for this because this was hard to keep track of. So we get the 5-man gauntlet elimination match. This is not like your typical gauntlet where you have two guys, right, where somebody gets pinned and then the next guy. This is kind of like Royal Rumble style where every 4 minutes somebody new comes out, no matter how many competitors are still in there.
Right.
So your 5 competitors. It starts out with Kyle O'Reilly versus Kushida. Nothing happens to those two. Bronson Reed comes in. Now you have a triple threat. People are down. Ref's distracted. Velveteen Dream comes in, hits the Dream Valley Driver on Kushida. That then opens up for Reed to hit the Tsunami, and that eliminates Kushida. In comes Timothy Thatcher. Nothing happens. In comes Cameron Grimes. Bronson Reed misses his Tsunami. O'Reilly hits a flying knee, eliminates Bronson Reed.
See ya.
O'Reilly rolls up Timothy Thatcher. That eliminates Thatcher. So now we're down to O'Reilly and Cameron Grimes, and ultimately O'Reilly makes Cameron Grimes tap. So Kyle O'Reilly of the Undisputed Era getting a little bit of a breakout singles, at least for a few weeks here, as he's going to challenge Finn Balor.
I like this a lot, though. I do, because above the group, he's the one. He's the one, obviously, of the. When I say the group, I mean the 3 from Undisputed Era that
excluding Adam Cole.
Yeah, because there's 4 of them. So without Adam Cole, there'd be 3 left. So out of the 3, he's the one I think has the most potential.
I mean, him and Finn, that's going to be a good match. No
It'll
question.
Be a great match. Yeah. It will.
But it doesn't exactly scream, like box office, like for a takeover main event. I mean, just, it just kind of feels like they had no time to build someone up, so they're just throwing someone in there.
Well, I hope he does something with it.
Yeah.
Can that, especially if the mystery person is for the women's division, can Finn and Kyle O'Reilly headline a takeover? Is that going to be a big enough finish?
That's literally what he just said. He said no.
No?
It ain't box office enough, he feels.
Well, he said, it's not a big box office to draw you into watching, but then when you watch, can you put anything else last? Like
instead of it, you mean?
Yeah. Would you put Priest and Gargano last?
Is this mystery person supposed to be there?
That's what I'm asking. If the mystery person is a woman.
if it's Tessa Blanchard, I put that last.
You put the women's title match last.
Yes, and there has to be a title switch. Yes.
What if you have Kyle O'Reilly beat Finn, and Adam Cole turns on him, and then you got the Kyle O'Reilly Adam Cole feud, and the Undisputed Era breaks up? Because the Undisputed Era feels a little like it's done.
It is. I'm worried about the other two, just not.
But I
disappearing into space, just being disappeared into space somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think that they have done everything. I mean, Adam Cole's had such an incredible NXT run, record champion. Then he has the Pat McAfee thing.
Yes.
I think Adam has done pretty much everything he's going to do with NXT, and with the draft coming in October, supposedly, I think Adam is destined for Raw or SmackDown, and then the other three guys, I don't know.
Okay, but why? I think part of that could be true. I think he could still turn on Kyle O'Reilly to cost him the match on his exit to being drafted in October.
Yeah, then O'Reilly beats Adam Cole. Adam Cole leaves.
There you go.
So that was
you
NXT.
Got a new star.
Yeah.
Yep.
So doing a favor on the way out, I guess. All right, so that was NXT.
I mean, I'll give it a 6.
NXT. I mean, the action's solid on NXT. Just the storytelling and the characters. It just took a big hit after Karrion Kross got injured. There's just nothing that interesting. Like
he was so interesting. He was so interesting.
I mean, Balor versus O'Reilly is going to be a great match, but I was 10,000 times more excited about Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross with that build and how they did it.
Yes.
So, I mean, I thought this was a very average episode of NXT. Yeah, it's a 6.5, 7.
There was nothing to put this in perspective, guys. You know what AEW mark I am? There was nothing on AEW that would take my eyeballs off of NXT when it was Karrion Kross being built versus what's his name? You just said it.
Keith Lee. Yeah.
Keith Lee. Sorry. Like Jesus. Even just his entrance.
The entrance. I wouldn't walk away. Yeah.
Yeah. And even when he would wrestle and you knew it's going to be a squash, they did such a good job of building him. I was watching it.
Yep. Never take my eyes off it. Yep.
And that's why Justin Lopez was kind of agreeing with what I was saying. He's saying this has Evolution turning on Orton written all over it, because if Cole isn't getting called up, he's in limbo right now.
So that was NXT. Yeah, if I gave AEW a 7, I'll give NXT a 6.5.
Yeah, I give it a 6. Again, when I say it's for that show. Because I found AEW Dynamite way easier to watch than NXT this week, as far as repeat value and just easy. The promos were much better. Jericho was.
What do you mean repeat value? What does that mean?
Like I could watch it again. Like there's a lot of segments I could watch again.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's nothing on NXT I'd watch again.
Okay, so for your wrestling headlines, we already touched on obviously the passing of Road Warrior Animal. We mentioned Lance Archer; he's out for 2 weeks, recovering from COVID-19. So that's caused some creative audibles in AEW. The last thing that we plan to bring up that we have not, this I think is the most. Raj, I gotta imagine it's going to do great traffic because anything with CM Punk does. And this is this. I can't recall the last time an active WWE talent like really came out and fired back at CM Punk. So here we go. So obviously the Retribution group has been a big topic this week of the names. So we have, of course, Slapjack, which is that's Shane Thorne. We have Mace, who's Dio Madden. We have T-Bar, who's Dominic Dijakovic. All of them have changed their social medias to reflect such, and are giving reasons of the names and whatever. Well, CM Punk, as he's known to do, took a jab on Twitter about T-Bar.
No, it was
or was it
Slapjack? Because Slapjack has the
mask,
the
white, yeah,
the hockey mask kind of looking thing.
Right, so he has the Jason Voorhees mask, and
what
Punk
did he say?
Punk said he put a picture of the mask up, and he said, "When you're bored in catering and there's an abundance of paper plates." So that's what he said about Slapjack's mask. Well, T-Bar posted a screenshot of CM Punk's comments and had this to say to CM Punk. Mind you, this is an active WWE talent firing back at CM Punk. He says, "You mock my brother Slapjack because you're a coward like every current and former WWE superstar. You tease leading Retribution, but will not follow you to failure like your new Nexus. We will destroy this place piece by piece, including you if you ever show up." So, I mean, this is, again, WWE talent.
Yeah,
This is a little bit of a retribution for retribution, I think, this week.
I thought that was a 10-8 round for Punk.
There was nothing too shooty about the talent saying that back to him. I like how he tied it into a storyline. In fact, actually, smart on him for doing that.
All I'm going to see is a paper plate on his face now, though.
I mean, then you could say the same thing about Rock coming out there and calling his ass out, having Mickey Mouse tattoos, and being Triple H calling him skinny fat, and the list goes on. Or Kevin Nash saying this looks like the guy that should be changing my oil at Jiffy Lube. Those could stick in my head too, but you choose not to. I hate to see a guy talk shit like that and then not want to go back to the business. I don't know. It was cute when he used to do it. I don't think it's cute. I don't know.
You're tired of it?
He's not tough. He's not tough. We've seen it. Not that you have to be tough to shoot on people, but I don't know what it is. It's tired for me. It used to be cool, but these are young talents, and we all do it. We all make fun of them. We all mock them. I get it. But you're CM Punk, so like when you write something like that, every wrestling mark on the planet reads that, and you shit on the kid before he gets a real chance. You know what I mean? Get him some time first, then shit on him.
I get what you're saying, Matt. You have Punk. You have Punk who WWE. If Punk wanted to, WWE would have him back in a minute. And it's like you have.
Well, WWE would bring him back.
They would.
I don't know.
No, they would.
Wow.
They didn't even try talking to him when he was doing the talk show box.
Look. Here's the thing. Wow. You have CM Punk, who's talking crap, like Matt said. What he says, so many fans. He's so influential to so many fans, and what they're going to give it a chance to and not. And you're talking legit shit on an active talent who's, by the way, just doing whatever creative is giving them. It's not like so. And you talk from your high spot, but you're not even willing to come back and try to help the talent in kayfabe and come back and earn a record payday because you'd get paid whatever the F you want. But because you're holier than thou, you're not going to come back for your payday. You're not even going to come back and help T-Bar or Slapjack by getting into a storyline with him. So it is kind of like, shut up and don't put your comments out there on blast. I mean,
it used to be, he used to be edgy. He used to be very good zingers. That's a good zinger too. I'm not saying it's not. He's incredibly witty and clever. Everybody knows that. But I don't know. As a young guy, he hasn't had his chance yet. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Is it okay to still call him Teabag and Slapnuts, or should we stop doing that?
Because we're not CM Punk, and we don't have millions and millions and millions of wrestling marks gonna take what we say and then go to the arenas and not buy their stuff, not buy their merch, and treat them like a J-Brown. It won't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not the same. Now that I just completely punked all three of us out. But do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'd be like when Hogan would do that, it was always to angle himself into a storyline with that said talent.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? I always appreciated that at least.
Maybe one more match, brother.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I always kind of appreciated that. But I don't know. Just shut up.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to see all my CM Punk tweets via Wrestling Inc.'s reporting because he blocked me many years ago. So I can't see myself. All right. So that was Wednesday in wrestling. Raj, anything else?
We have a new interview with Lance Archer that was just conducted a couple days ago, dropped today. So it was obviously before the COVID stuff. So check that out on Wrestling Inc. And we got a bunch of cool stuff coming up on Wrestling Inc. So keep checking it out.
Matt, put yourself over, plug yourself.
Better to know, Twitter, Instagram, BP Matt Morgan.
All right, I'm at Justin LaBar. I'll be on the Wrestling Inc. Daily tomorrow afternoon with Nick Hausman, talking whatever headlines break between now and then. And then Friday morning, I will be on Sirius XM Radio with Mark Henry and Dave LaGreca. Thanks to everybody who's been here tonight. Thanks for all the comments and super chats. Much appreciated. The super chats help keep things rolling and doing well. For Matt, for Raj, I'm Justin. We'll see you back here on Friday.